Hi! Adult coloring books popped onto the scene a few years ago. Many have discovered the therapeutic benefits of coloring. It's relaxing and it reduces stress. Well, today I have for you a gift idea for those on your list that love their coloring books. It's super easy for you to make, and they're going to be able to turn their love of the coloring books into something they can use. Welcome! I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 16 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles. So I'm also going to recommend a couple products you can add to it, then we'll wrap it all together for a complete gift. People spend a lot of time coloring the pictures in their adult coloring books, and they end up with some really pretty pictures. And I've often thought, boy, I wish there was a way to get the pictures out of the book so they could show them off. Well, that's why I was so excited when I saw the Just Add Color Specialty Designer Series paper in the 2017-2018 Stampin' Up! Catalog. I thought, oh my goodness, we'll be able to use these to turn them into greeting cards so they can enjoy all the therapeutic benefits of coloring and then be able to have a greeting card they can send. And so look at all the opportunities to color here. We've got the watering cans, we've got the tea kettles and the teacups, and houses, and oh my goodness, the leaves, and look at that ocean scene, and feathers. And so my first thought was to cut this to 5.5 by 4.25 to cover the entire front of what is an A2 size. I thought, okay, wait a minute. So I rethought it, because if we did that, we could only get 4 out of every 12 by 12 sheet. And in case you just love this idea and want to do it for several people on your list, if we change that measurement and did 5.25 by 4, that meant we could get 6 per sheet. And so I thought, okay, that's going to work really well. And so if you're looking at these big patterns and thinking, well, will that work, cutting it down to 5.25 by 4? Well, it did. And let me show you. Here we go. So look at that. I've got that the teapot and some of the teacups, and I've got a partial row there. Feathers worked out really well too. And oh my goodness, I just love those watering cans, our leaves, and then we have the ocean scene. Now that was interesting. That one I thought, will that work? Well, every one that I cut ended up looking fantastic. So now, if we're going to cut these down that small, we're going to need to put them on a card base. So what I chose to do was to put them on basic black cardstock. Really like this option, because it doesn't matter what color they color them. Black is a great neutral color, and it's going to coordinate with it. So what you'll need, the way we're going to package them, 6. We've got 6 patterns, so you can do all 6 of them. All right, so you're going to need 6 of the basic black cardstock card bases. All right, and then I'll have a link to my blog with all of the measurements. And then the Fast Fuse adhesive, love this stuff. Okay, so my last video I was explaining, I have a light touch, so I've never had any issue with this. Just that little slide, something to break it so you don't get that hot stringy cheese. But if you press really hard, you can apparently cause some, have some issues. So just use a light touch. All right, so look, we're just going to put this right on here. And oh, this just looks so good. Now that the row of houses I showed you just a second ago, we didn't even have a full row of the houses. Well, I wanted to show you if you cut. I didn't go and cut in the center just for this. I wanted you to see what would happen if you get, all 6 out of there. And so that's all we need to do for that. And then because we have the black cardstock, we want to be able to see inside, we're going to need some Whisper White cardstock to put inside so they can write their message and sign it. Okay, so there we go. That's how easy is this? Because they're going to do the coloring. All we had to do was cut the cardstock and put it all together. So here we go, to save a little bit of time. Now this one turned out very different, right? I end up with almost a full row of a different. And so aren't these great? And this I'm trying to decide, well, this one I like that. And but sometimes the other one, I thought I was going to like it better, the one that we just cut, but for this, I'm liking the way that's going. So there we go. We have the 6 cards with the inserts. Easy, seriously easy. for you to do. And then I thought, well, okay, that's nice, but what if they would like a greeting on there? Problem solved. I've got that covered too. So what we're going to do, here we go. I've got some Whisper White cardstock, and you know, we don't know what they're going to use them for, right? We have no idea what they want to use these cards for. So my favorite saying, because it covers everything, is thinking of you. Thinking of you would work for thinking of you for your birthday, right? Thinking of you for a sympathy card. I mean, thinking of you always works, even just because. And this is so pretty from the Count My Blessings stamp set. This is from the 2017 Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. So I've got some Whisper White cardstock here and basic black Archival stamping pad, because we've got the black and white going on so they can color in anything they want. So we're going to push, flip, and lock that into place. There we go. Wipe on my stamping sleeve so I don't get this on my cardstock. And let's go ahead and get this all good and inked up. So I've done several, so now I know, because I'm going to die cut these about how much space I need in between. I can get 4 out of every strip I have here. Go ahead and do that. Isn't that font great? And it's going to look really nice with all 4 of the patterns. There we go. And so you'll want to do, you know, you'll need 6 for every one that you do, if you're going to do the 6 cards. Okay, and so to close this, we're going to pull on the lip, flip, and click, and we know it's shut. So now we're going to die cut. Let me grab my Big Shot. I've got my Big Shot die cutting machine, and we're going to be die cutting with the second largest oval in the Stitch Shapes Framelits dies. You have ovals, circles, and squares in this set, and it gives you this stitching all around. Really nice design. And so because we're using our thin metal die that we want to stay centered over our Thinking of You, I have the magnetic platform. This is an additional purchase to the Big Shot, but one I highly recommend if you're using Framelits dies. So that's the start of our sandwich. So then we need to build up the next part. We have a cutting pad, and now the cardstock we just stamped. There we go. And that second largest oval. Fantastic. So we'll center that right around, and that fits in there really nice. There we go. And pleased with that. I'm thinking that's looking really good. And the rest of our sandwich is a cutting pad. And just crank this. I can't wait to show you that. If you haven't seen these before, these are just the coolest dies. Okay, so we take that out. Look at that. It has the stitching all the way around. So we just need to do this 5 more times, and then we'll go and show you how we're going to package. Thinking of You die cut's all done, and so instead of going and adhering them to the card right now, if we do that, it's going to make it hard for them to color around them. So instead, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals, and let's get a couple of these off of here. There we go. And put 2 on the back of it, just like that, but leave the backing on. So after they're done coloring, they can go ahead and take that backing off and put it just where they want it. That's going to work out really, really well. All right, so now we're ready to start packaging. And so we're going to use the clear acetate boxes from the 2017 Holiday Catalog. Now the catalog says it will hold 5, easily hold 5. Well, it's holding the 6, all right? And so I left it. This is how it comes out of the package. I want you to see how nicely they go together. How they just form together so quickly. It's like, oh, look at that. Beautiful, right? Boy, these are pretty. So let's go ahead and fold that in. Okay. There we go. We'll get this all ready. So that'll be our top. I found it easier to start with the envelope, so I have 6 Whisper White envelopes. Very nice envelopes. And go ahead and slide those in. There we go. And then our 6 cards. So pick the one that you like best to go on top. I think those watering cans are adorable. And slide those in. So now, because we didn't want to attach our our Thinking of You die cuts. And what I did was I went ahead, so they wouldn't just be flopping around there, tied around some of the basic black baker's twine. Well, I did all 6 and slid it in. That was too bulky. It was pressing down the cards, and I thought, boy, depending on how long it took for us to give them their gift or for them to open it. I was worried the cards were going to have a dip in them. So I did them in 2 stacks of 3. Doesn't that look nice wrapped around there? We've got our black and white going on. There we go. And then just slip that in. So now it's not bulky and it still looks decorative. And go ahead and close that up. And so we do have the 6 in there, and I'm not bulging any at all. All right. Well, there we go. And so there we go. So now, what I was recommending to go with them, the watercolor pencils. Won't this be great? I'm talking about a complete gift. And so they've got all these great colors to color with these, and we know they do a very nice job. And when you use the watercoloring pencils, you need a way to smear that around. And so we add a blender pen. And the watercolor pencils, well, with the online extravaganza, they're 20% off through Sunday, November 26th. And you get 3 blender pens when you order them. And so how about that? So now let me show you how to put it all together. To complete your therapeutic gift of coloring, wrap around the 7/8 inch striped ribbon from the holiday catalog. And look, it's wired so you can scrunch it up, make it a little bit extra special, and tuck in your blender pen right into the knot. And then look, I added one of the mini ornaments, also from the holiday catalog, and I tied it on with the basic black baker's twine that we used on the Thinking of You. And it's just blending all in, that black and white with the black and white stripe. Isn't that sweet? And then tuck in a couple of the green sprigs, also from the holiday catalog. Doesn't that look fabulous? They won't know that you whipped this out in just minutes. If you'd like to give the gift of coloring, all the supplies are listed under the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelly Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.